Okay, hello guys. Our group is choose Iceland as our country, and we will do the economic analysis of Iceland. The first part is the demographic. Iceland is an island situated in the middle of the North um, Atlantic Ocean, directly between Greenland and Norway, and the northwest of the United Kingdom. The current with a total area of 10, 100 or 3,000 square kilometers. Um, 100, almost 100,000 of which made up of land and um, 2,750 made up of water. Iceland is only slightly bigger than Hungary and ranks 109 in size compared internationally with 250 four countries. So the history of Ireland is the earliest inhabitants in Ireland is some Irish monks, but most of the early permanent settlers were considered as explorers from Norway. The first permanent settlers is generally believed to be Ingolfur Arnarsson. Yeah, he constructed his house at Reykjavik, which would later become the modern capital city of Iceland. And the human settlement of the Iceland began at this time, and it was a period that has been regarded as the age of settlement from around 870 to 930 AD. During the period, the ruling chief there established a republican constitution, a code of law, and assembly called Orsenji, which has been distinguished as the oldest parliament in the world. And in the next centuries, Christianity and its traditions are gradually established. In 20, in 1262, Iceland and Norway signed a treaty to establish an union, making the arrival of a Stone Age. Since then, Iceland's independent status has ceased to exist. Later, at the end of the 14th century, because Denmark and Norway were ruled by the Danish crown, Iceland's resources were continuously plumbed by the Denmark and Norway. At the same time, natural disasters, epidemics, and piracy problems have also caused huge losses to Iceland. And it was not until the beginning of the 19th century that Iceland's national consciousness awakened and in 1874, Icelanders drafted a constitution that Iceland's nation and was permitted some degree of self-government. And in 1918, Iceland formally became a semi-autonomous country of the Kingdom of Denmark. Um, then in 1940, Denmark was occupied by Germany and Iceland was invaded by Britain. In the results, later in 1941, Iceland's defense responsibility was transferred to the United States. And the results of all events were that they had to start fighting for independence on their own, and eventually Iceland formally became a sovereign republic on June 1944. And after entering the 21st century, the outbreak of the financial crisis in 2008 led to Iceland's collapse of the country's three major commercial banks and the currency devaluation. But then The Icelandic government responded quickly and implemented a series of adjustment policies. With the rapid development of tourism, Iceland's economy has gradually recovered. And for the government, oh, for the demographic part, the current population of Iceland is almost 341,000 as of October 2020. Given the country and international ranking for 180, the total fertility rate is 1.8 per woman in 2020. That is below the replacement level fertility and will have the possibility of the population decline. The infant mortality rate being one infant death per 10,000 labors, and the death rate is 6.7 deaths per 1,000 people, giving a population growth rate of 0.65 and ranked 150th in the world. Compared with other developed countries, Iceland is rare because its population is fairly young. The median age is 36, with the median young male and female age. Iceland has the lowest population density of all European countries at just 3 people per kilometer, but it's almost entirely urban with half of the population located in and around the capital of Reykjavik. As of 2020, 94.4% of the Iceland's population is urban. For government,
So for the economic indicators, the currency is the Icelandic krona. It is currently equal to 0.0069 US dollars. The economy of Iceland is a combination of both a capitalist structure and free market principles with an extensive welfare system. In 2018, the GDP of Iceland reached a worth of $25.88 billion, comprised of 5.8% agriculture, 19.7% industry, and 74.6% of services. Their main service is tourism at 10%, and the inflation in Iceland hit 1.8% in 2017, ranking 93rd internationally, with a budget surplus of 1.5%, ranking 22nd. Iceland ranks 30th internationally in unemployment, sitting around 2.7% in 2017. The most recent high of unemployment was in 2010 at 9.3%, following the economic crash of 2008, where Iceland went bankrupt. The most important issue currently for Iceland is the COVID-19 virus, and it has impacted their tourism industry heavily, which, like I said, is 10% of their GDP.
And for government, Iceland is a constitutional republic, and it's run with a parliamentary republic, meaning an elected president and the legislative assembly are in charge. Currently, the president of Iceland who has been in office since 2016, and Iceland's current parliament is unicameral and consists of 63 members with a term of 4 years. The parliament is the legislature of the Republic of Iceland.
So government participation in the market. Iceland has a free economy and their freedom score is 77.1. The Icelandic economy has been climbing the ranks for the past decade. GDP growth has been expanding at a healthy rate as well. Iceland is a stable democracy with an active consumer economy. The pillars of the Icelandic economy are aluminum smelting, fishing, and tourism. Iceland's main material exports are aluminum products and fish products, and the main service exports are tourism-related services.
The political institutions in Iceland is the parliament, which consists of 63 elected members from 8 different political parties. Each party is very different from the next, which allows for a diverse group of individuals with many points of view. Currently, the parliament consists of 9 members from the Center Party, 16 from the Independence Party, 10 from the Left Green Movement, 2 from the People's Party, 6 from the Pirate Party, 8 from the Progressive Party, 4 from the Liberal Reform Party, 7 from the Social Democratic Alliance, and 1 independent member. The political climate in Iceland was very chaotic this past year, as it usually is. The Icelanders are used to moving from one political scandal to the next fairly quickly, some as quickly as the next day. Some issues from the past year include, but aren't limited to, the third energy package, wage strikes, and a controversial visit from Mike Pence. The third energy package was approved in the EU in 2009, but Iceland held off on signing it because they were afraid they would lose some of their sovereignty and build up a power link with the EU. The package was recently passed in Iceland's parliament this past year with a vote of 46 to 13. The wage gap in Iceland has led to many disputes and strikes this past year. Examples of these strikes were the tourism industry, the hotel staff, and bus driver industries following that. These disputes are still going on today, and the visit from Mike Pence was controversial because he was not supposed to meet with the Prime Minister due to a conflict of his schedule. However, Pence decided to extend his stay in order to talk with him about issues concerning the US military presence returning to Iceland. This was an issue because citizens in Iceland are anti-war and pro-LGBTQ, and they understand that Mike Pence does not share those views. And in 2018, Iceland ranked first in the Global Gender Index, which was based on economic participation, opportunity, educational attainment, health and survival, and political empowerment.
All right, so like any other country, Iceland has very specific business practices that are important to learn before visiting as like a business professional. So some of those include like handshakes. Appearance is one of the most important things. Everyone in Iceland dresses very professionally, and it is expected for you to dress the same. And like a traditional dress code would be like formal and professional business attire. Another thing that is expected is handshakes. You're expected to greet with handshakes at the beginning and at the end of each meeting. And every meeting should start promptly because punctuality is highly valued in Iceland. It is expected that you arrive early for any meeting that you attend. And if you do happen to be running late for any reason, you're expected to notify the host of the meeting just out of politeness. Another thing in Iceland that they do is they use 24-hour clocks when scheduling appointments and things like that, just to avoid any miscommunications about timing. It is also like if you were to visit someone's house in Iceland, it is expected to bring a small gift, such as like a bottle of wine or a gift from the visitor's home country. That's just a little issue of politeness that's expected. And then another thing in the professional world, after any type of meeting, a follow-up letter is always expected, not like a thank you letter, but like it will contain like any decisions from the meeting that were made, any record of the meeting, any important information that was said during the meeting.
For Iceland's legal system, they are under a civil law. Therefore, they also follow the Icelandic written law. Iceland's legal system also includes a constitution, statutory legislation, and regulatory statutes. The Constitutional Act is considered the highest national legal authority, and the first constitution was received in 1874 and has been revised 7 times. For intellectual property, trademarks, copyrights, trade secrets, and industrial designs are all protected under Icelandic law. As with many other issues, Iceland follows the European lead in protection of property rights and adheres to the European Patent Convention of 1973. In 2005, Iceland signed the Patent Cooperation Treaty. The Patent Cooperation Treaty is an international patent law treaty concluded in 1970. It provides a unified procedure for filing patent applications to protect inventions in each of its contracting states. And then the infrastructure in Iceland is a very extensive infrastructure. And in 1900, roads started to be built and construction increased during the 1980s. The current national road system connects most of the cities, is largely in the coastal areas, and it consists of about 7,868 miles of roads with 2,022 miles paved. There are no railroads in Iceland. Computer use is widespread in Iceland, and about 82% of Icelanders have internet access at home, at school, or at work. The Republic has an ever-growing information technology industry, with the export of software rapidly increasing.
And so for the social and the cultural norms of Iceland, they do have human rights that are guaranteed in the Icelandic Constitution. They have Article 65, which states that everyone shall be equal before the law and enjoy basic human rights, irrespective of gender, religion, opinions, national origin, race, color, property, birth, or other status. And they have the Ministry of Welfare citing with enforcing the act on the equal status and equal rights for women and men, number 10 out of 2008. And that was brought forth to maintain equal rights and opportunities for men and women, as well as maintain equal representation of both genders in the community. In addition, there was a vote passed unanimously 49-0 in the Icelandic parliament to include same-sex marriage, which is awesome and shows that Iceland is a very progressive place. Further, gender equality is very important in Iceland, and in 2018, they did rank first in the Global Gender Gap Index, as you can see in the picture on the slide that is covering up the words. But you can see that they ranked very high there, which is a good thing. Further, crime in Iceland is very low. They have one of the lowest murder rates, excluding, there was an outlier of 4 murders that happened in 2017. So they have really good, really low crime rates. Something that's more relevant is going to be like road safety concerns. Another concern in Iceland is going to be the black market for labor, which has foreign individuals filling roles that are primarily in the tourism industry. And what that concern is that foreign workers are likely to be working without a personal identification number, which is something that's similar to the social security number system that we have here. Another thing is that the income distribution in Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, so that's OECD countries, they have a Gini coefficient of 0.32. However, Iceland and the Gini coefficient averages around 0.24, which is significantly lower than the rest of the OECD countries. Something that's worth talking about right now is that other than the way their tourism industry has been affected, Iceland has been minimally impacted by coronavirus. Out of 4,193 cases in the most recent information that I could find, they have only had 11 deaths, which is a really, really low number compared to other places. They've also had a lot of patient recoveries from positive patients. And this is because they are much more prepared than many other countries. So they instituted an immediate 14-day quarantine for anyone perceived to come in contact with the virus. They had a strict quarantine lockdown if you did come in contact. But again, they are losing money right now due to the lack of travel that is brought on by COVID-19. But in conclusion, Iceland is a really strong country. For a lot of reasons. They have a very strong economy, and even though they had a massive economic crash in 2008, they have made a full recovery and their economy was stronger than ever in 2018. They're ranked very high in gender equality and globalization. They had a really strong reaction to COVID-19 and handled that very well. They have extensive infrastructure, and they have similar IP protection to the United States. So that is a good thing if you are coming from the United States to Iceland as a business. Another good thing is that US is the #1 import and export partner. The only real concern in Iceland is that they have a very chaotic political climate. And here are all of our citations. So thank you for listening.